Well, today I am here with my awesome friend Christine. And, one question we want to ask you is, have you ever heard of the Thumb region of Michigan? I didn't know it was called that, but my friend Christine is here to tell you all about it. She's an amazing agent that covers that area as well as another area in New York, which we'll talk about later. Hi, Christine, how are you?
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much. I am so excited to do this. I appreciate it.
Of course. Well, I'm glad to talk with you today. So, we've been to events together. We've talked. You cover the Thumb region of Michigan. Now, can you tell everyone what areas that is?
Sure. So, Michigan is huge. If you were to drive from the bottom of the state to the top, it would take 14 hours drive. So, it's huge. So, I'm more on the eastern part. And if you think of Michigan like a mitten, the thumb
Mhm.
part is the thumb part of the state, which is the thumb of
Okay.
the mitten. So, Michigan is also called the mitten. So it seems like we do have vacation areas and whatnot. So it's a really, really nice laid back area and it's definitely more rural. So
Okay. So the Thumb area of Michigan is more rural. What towns or cities is that kind of composed of?
yeah, so where I am, I'm in the very bottom of Lapeer County, and that
Mhm.
covers Barlett, Clifford, Lapeer, North Branch, Mayville, um, what else? Almont, Attica, Michigan, Imlay City, Silverwood, those
Mhm.
areas. So that's pretty much my focus. It also crosses over, I'm right on the border of Sanilac County. And
Mhm.
in there, I have a concentration in Brown City, Sandusky, and Kingston, Cairo, those areas. So.
Okay. So it's kind of composed of a lot of smaller cities. Is that right?
Yes, and I'm kind of smack in the middle of like three counties that sort of converge. So it's good for me in a way because then I can kind of fan out amongst three counties. But I'm definitely
Okay.
way outside of Metro Detroit. I'm about let's see, I'm 2 hours from Detroit Metro Airport, like straight north.
Okay. So more of a rural area, like you said. Okay, great. So
Yeah,
we know you cover the Thumb region. So let's talk about your area. And again, it's a lot of smaller cities.
sure.
How is the market kind of where you are in real estate? What's going on? What are you seeing?
Yeah, so what I'm seeing within a 5 to 10 mile radius is that it seems to be that the listing number is very low. There's never more than maybe five houses for sale. It's very, very low. Um, in the county as a whole, Lapeer County, which is kind of my big focus, the median price right now is about 305. So, but if you zoom in a little bit more, closer to where I am, which is a little more rural and a lot more farms, the median price drops to like maybe 210. But days on market are still pretty quick and everything is selling fairly quickly, especially the closer you get to Detroit Metro. So,
Oh, wow. Okay. So that 300, in the 200s,
yeah.
300s, that's very, when we look at the United States, that's very
Hmm.
affordable.
Yes.
I've talked to some other people in other areas of Michigan where it's a little higher price. So this actually seems great for, are there a lot of first time buyers where you are?
Sure. So, yeah, there are some first time buyers. It's a great area for seniors. I know some folks at my office actually have their parents living up here because the taxes are lower, or they may have had a childhood like summer home up here, that kind of thing. So I know that where I am and a little bit north, you'll find a lot of vacation homes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So people are looking up there for vacation homes. So, question about that, does that invite a lot of investors to kind of look around your area, people from out of state, or is this more people wanting to buy a second vacation home?
I've only been here since May, so my gut feeling and everything I'm hearing, it seems like it may be more people within Michigan kind of migrating up. And I know even since May, my immediate town has added in a lot of amenities, a brand new pool, a brand new
Mm.
women's health center, a brand new pharmacy. So I kind of see some revitalization going on, even though part of the downtown is still has a lot of vacant stores and that I I do see investments being made, and we have some pretty nice new businesses coming in that are going to be really helpful that you wouldn't necessarily expect. I was in shock when I found out our town had a town pool. So it was pretty cool. So didn't expect that, but yeah, I see things popping up even in the last 4 months. So that's a very good thing. And the land that I purchased 5 years ago has already doubled in value. So that makes me really happy.
Wow, that
Yeah,
is amazing. So, this happens all over the United States where, you
sure.
have a large city like Detroit and it further and further and further out, it's growing. Like you said, your town is adding a lot of amenities, expecting and hoping for that growth further and further north away from the city center, which is always good. And yeah, the best time to buy real estate is now because
That's
yesterday,
right.
actually. Which that is amazing that it's grown. So, talking a little bit more about your area, you know, where are people coming from? Like, what states or what areas are they coming from when they're moving to you? Because you said there's a lot of vacation homes, but I'm sure some people move to your area, obviously, maybe to work. What kind of industries are around the area?
Yeah, so what I notice is, of course, there's a lot of farming, and even the farmers need, kind of like contract work, like somebody might work for them for 3 months or 6 months or something. But I also see a lot of plants, like having to do with
Mm.
automobile parts. So we have a couple of buildings in town that specifically do that. We have another building in town that does like job readiness, and they're a big, big facility that works with developmental disabled, getting them ready to be out in the workforce. So we have a bunch of different things. But industry wise, a lot of this is farming. Um, they grow a lot of soybean, corn, and things like that in the area. And many, many people have 10, 20, 40, 80 acres. And it may be that the business was handed down through the family. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Are you sure you're not here in Indiana? Because it sounds very similar. Because, of course, the Midwest is very
Sure.
similar as we have a lot of manufacturing all over the Midwest, Michigan, Illinois, of course, here in Indiana and Indianapolis, corn, soybeans, that's our whole life. Anything outside of the city is just fields of, corn, soybeans. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So a lot of
Hmm.
agricultural land where you are and
Oh yeah.
manufacturing, of course, which is awesome. I know you mentioned earlier there are a lot of downsizers and not just in your area, pretty much every area of the United States right now. That's one of the biggest populations who have a lot of equity in their home. They're
Yeah.
downsizing. They're looking maybe to move to a one level ranch type home. My question for you about the downsizers, do you see them doing any new construction in your area, even though you're more rural? Are they building those type of, maybe senior communities or places for seniors in your area or kind of around?
So that's a great question. I don't see any projects specifically like a senior neighborhood, but I do see new construction popping up, like maybe 3 lots here, 2 lots here, and all those homes are one level, and they're really nice. It's all that you would ever need. Sometimes they have like a one-car garage. and they just put a sign out and it says, and they're spec homes. So that is very encouraging because they're literally putting them up without a buyer. So very encouraging. But again, I don't see big senior like neighborhoods going up yet. But I think that'll come down the line.
Yeah, and honestly, I've talked to a lot of people in different cities, and I think that it's going to have to happen.
Yeah.
These seniors want options. They want these one level homes. They want the low maintenance neighborhoods, and that's very popular here. In Indianapolis, they're building tons of them, and I'm assuming in most areas they're going to have to figure out a way to get more homes built for the seniors. I wanted to mention, since of course we're talking about the Thumb region of Michigan, that you also serve Hudson Valley, New York, because you lived there for so long. Tell us just a little bit about, how you can help people in Hudson Valley.
Sure, great. So yes, I did live there over 22 years. And I have a team of 5 people who are assisting and taking kind of taking the handoff and working with people that were already in my pipeline who maybe didn't yet transact or whatnot. And I have a lot of business in the metro New York City, which is pretty much exactly an hour from New York City. So the business that is happening is close to West Point Military Academy, all over Orange County, New York. Um, I also cover Dutchess County. I also cover Lower Sullivan County, and Rockland County is where my office is, which is again maybe 30 minutes from New York City. So I have a very strong team who's working in the background. All of them are ALC members. I've been chatting with all of them long before I made the move to Michigan. So for about 8 months, I was working on that. 8 to 9 months, I was, they all kind of knew I was leaving and what needed to happen. So I feel really good about that. They've been doing great. So giving out a lot of referrals.
I love it. So, if anyone watching this is looking to, move or is thinking about moving to the Thumb region of Michigan where you currently are, or, somewhere in the Hudson Valley around New York City area, anywhere over there, you're a trusted resource. If anyone watching this would like Christine's information, we'll put it below the video. But Christine, you're so awesome. I just love you. Thank you for doing this video. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're the best. Yeah, anytime. And I can give out names in any part of New York. It doesn't have to be Hudson Valley, and I'm pretty connected. So happy to do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.